Every single coach or mentor or a guru will tell you that, hey, you need to spend money on ads in order to make money with your online business. Well, in the month of May, I was able to make 50K in a single month without spending a single penny on ads. So in today's video, what I want to do is give you the 4 key things that I focused on to make sure that this happens, and it's a continuous, repeatable process. So I don't rely on ads anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. Ads are great. It makes your business scalable, predictable, and so on. However, in the very beginning, when you're just getting started and you don't have that much of a budget to spend on ads, then you want to make sure you squeeze as much out of organic content as possible and use various other ways and tactics to get as many clients as possible. So here are the 4 things that I did to get 50K in 30 days. With that being said, let's get straight to it. Number 1, my actual program itself, okay? So when it comes to selling your own program, you essentially have 3 choices in my personal opinion. You've got the 3-month, the 6-month, and then the 12-month. Now, in the very beginning, the first year, what I was stupid was I chose this one, 12-month, because I thought, hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give people a lot of time with me. They're going to appreciate it, and therefore it will justify my prices. What I've come to realize is that people don't care at all how long they stay with you. What they really care about is the outcome and the likelihood of the outcome. Therefore, if you can actually get the outcome in a shorter period of time, they will choose that option every single time. People do not care how many times a week you're going to jump on a call with them. They don't care how many calls you're going to have in a single week, how long the program is, or anything like that. All they care about is the outcome that you promise, which is why changing to the 3-month option made all of the difference for 2 reasons. Number 1, let's be honest, some clients that you'll be working with are not going to be the best ones. Well, before, you would be stuck with a client that you don't really like for 12 months. Now you can say and get rid of them after 3 months. So that's number 1. Number 2, and this is the best part, is if you help them fix one problem in 3 months, okay, there is no reason why you can't help them then fix another problem. In other words, give them something called an upsell. Now, initially this program could be 3 months, and this one could easily be 6 months or 12 months afterwards. I personally never recommend going for 12 months ever again, but 3 to 6 months, especially with the clients that you know you can get results with, the ones that you really enjoy working with, there is no problem whatsoever. So the very first thing that got me to 50K per month is really simple, and that is upsells, okay? Meant in the very beginning, I brought somebody for 3 months, relatively reasonably priced. I got them results, and then it was very, very easy for me to upsell them from 3 months into a 6-month program for a much, much higher ticket price. And I'll be honest with you guys, it is so easy to upsell people who you've gotten results already, because they know you, they like you, they trust you, they know how you work, they know what to expect, they know that you're not a scammer, and so on. So therefore, upsells has been a game changer for me going forward, because I changed the structure of my programs. Number 2, and that is lead magnets. Okay, let me explain. Now, before AI, what did we used to use as a lead magnet? Well, we used to give out PDFs, guides, we used to do tool lists and all that sort of stuff, right? And here's the problem. All of these things are generic, okay? Now I can get the exact same PDF and guide and various tools from a simple Claude prompt or a ChatGPT prompt. So now the lead magnets that really work are those that are personalized, okay? So what do I mean by that? Well, let's draw it out again. The first one that could be is something called an audit call. Okay, especially if you're just getting started, and especially if you're just getting your very first few clients, audit call is amazing because it is something that your competition, who is spending so much money on ads and has got teams and teams and teams, cannot give that personalized one-to-one approach anymore. Secondly, what you can do is something called a quiz, okay? So what you do is you ask people a whole bunch of questions, and then you give them an answer based on the questions that they have answered. So you, again, make it personalized, okay? But the one that has worked for me the most is actually workshops. I absolutely love workshops. This is what I'll say. Workshops here was the second bit, okay? Why do I like them so much? It's really simple. It's because, think about it. In the very beginning, when you are speaking to your potential leads or clients or whatever, they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, they don't even know how you work. However, when you jump on a workshop with them and they see that you are surrounded by other people just like them, 30, 40, 50, 60 people all in a call asking you questions, the amount of credibility and authority that you provide is insane. All of a sudden, you are no longer just another person on social media. You are the person, the go-to person for that particular problem, that particular issue. On top of that as well, is what's really good here is that these people get a sense, an idea that not only you know what you're talking about, but also that you care about your students and your past clients. They get that flavor. So they get a chance to ask you questions, they get an idea of what it's like working with you, and then upselling them onto your very first program to here. So basically, if I could draw it like this, I would do workshop. This was my funnel, to be honest, okay? Workshops, which were free, yeah, you upsell them onto 3 months, which is kind of low ticket, mid ticket, okay, and then you upsell them onto high ticket, okay, there you go. That is what worked for me extremely well in the month of May. Now, next up, this is really important as well, and that is social media strategy. Okay, what do I mean by that? For the longest time, I was focusing on getting as many views as possible. I mean, just check out my TikTok. It's got over 800,000 followers. Check out my Instagram. It's got a whole bunch of views as well that got loads and loads of followers and so on and so forth. The problem is this, is that the follower is more important than the amount of views that you get. Who is actually listening to your content is far more important. So instead, what I tended to do is now focus less on the amount of views and focus far more on who am I attracting with my videos. So instead of going for something that goes crazy viral, instead I went for whiteboard videos or explainer type of videos that will attract people from the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and various other tier 1 countries who may find my content interesting and therefore will be more compelled to buy. What I also did is something called Sort Feed. Okay, now this is a really simple Chrome extension that you can buy for like 40 bucks, and it will sort your feed over the last 100, 250, 500 posts and say exactly which ones got the most amount of attraction. Now, what's important here is not to make sure just, oh, these are the ones that got the most amount of views, I'm just going to redo them. No, what you want to do is actually check in the audience demographics and see what are the countries that these videos have gone to and what are the ages, and of course what is the demographic overall, like, you know, what it, like, you want to understand exactly what it is about these people. Are they your potential target audience? Because if you make a video and it primarily goes to people between the ages of 13 to 17, what's the point of making that video in the first place? Because nobody in their right mind at that age will ever buy your high ticket service. So something to keep in mind, not all views are created equal, okay? And then last but not least, big change, and this is number 4, I don't know why I said number 3, and that is setters, okay? Before I used to have 1 setter, now I've got 3. So to draw it out, it's really simple. When we create content, so let's say this is you, okay, and this is your audience, okay? When you create content, you are hoping and wishing that people will reach out to you. They will sign up to your lead magnet, they will jump onto your workshop, they will speak to you, okay? Now, what happens when you have a setter? Well, a setter's primary job is to reach out to every single person who has shown interest in your content. So that could be a story viewer, a commenter, a follower, even somebody who has liked your videos. That setter's job, full-time job, is to reach out to those people and try to book a call. So all of a sudden, believe it or not, this is where, I'll be honest with you, 80-20 rule comes in, because 80% of my clients come from the setter, and then 20% of my clients come from my actual content and the audience reaching out to me. So with all of these things, upsells, amazing, probably 70% of why I made 50K. Lead magnets, again, 15%, okay? And this as well, 10 and 10 as well in terms of importance. So with all of that being said, I hope you found this useful, as you hopefully can now see that you don't need ads to get started. You can, if you can't make 50K per month, you can definitely make 10 to 20K per month. Start having a war chest of money that you can then deploy into ads, which will take your business kind of like this. So with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.